Georges, and I hope I pronounce his name properly, Chikoti, Secretary General of the OACPS. In May, he made a strong statement in condemnation of the European Commission's move to place OACPS, some members of the OACPS, including Caribbean countries, Jamaica is one of them, to place them on the new list of high-risk countries with strategic deficiencies in the regime regarding anti-money laundering and so on. Now, he made this comment against the background again of COVID-19 pandemic and how it is affecting us, and he actually said at the moment, and I'm quoting him, where the COVID-19 pandemic is affecting the economies of these states, and that while both member states of the EC and the OACPS are trying to find solutions to the crisis, the publication and the adoption of such a list, he says, would aggravate the health and economic crises which are already affecting the concerned countries. My question is, to what extent will this move by the EU negatively impact trade and investment between the countries that are placed on the grey list?
A very sensitive topic. First of all, let me say that I agree with the fact that the timing of the announcement was unfortunate, but you could probably safely say that there's never a right time for an exercise like that. And this is the nature of partnerships. They're not always easy and smooth, but partnerships are supposed to be about shared values. For us Europeans, the risk of terrorism and money laundering that is linked to it is a very important issue to the citizens of Europe. As you know, there were many terrorist attacks in the recent years that affected lives of many people, and therefore there is a strong commitment that we address those gaps that exist in the systems inside Europe, as well as work with our partners. So let me stress that our listing exercise was not a new thing, in a sense that the Financial Action Task Force already listed the countries earlier. So our exercise is linked to the listing of FATF, and the list of 40 deficiencies, if you like, or gaps that need to be addressed was made several years ago. So this is not a new thing, but perhaps it hasn't made front page news. Minister of Finance spoke about it and wrote to this topic already months ago, trying to prepare Jamaica for the fact that it may happen. Those gaps are there, they need to be addressed. We have quite a lot of funds globally to work with the countries and assist as best we can in addressing those gaps. And this exercise will continue. It was going to take place last year. I'm sure the reactions would have been just as strong, and because it is upsetting to know that your country has been grey-listed or blacklisted or listed in any way whatsoever. But how it will affect trade, will that be the main factor that is likely to impact on trade of the countries in the region with the rest of the world, or will the COVID context and its impact on economy have a much bigger impact? It's too early to say. I think we need to revisit this topic in a few months to come. But I do need to stress that it's not punitive. So there are no sanctions, it doesn't mean that our bilateral or regional programs stop, not at all. That means that the institutions that will want to enter into any financial transactions with the countries that are on the list will look a little bit more carefully. So, but we stand ready, and we made it clear from the very beginning that anything we can do, any assistance that we can offer, we're willing to work with the countries. And I do know, and I've stressed this as well publicly, that Minister of Finances, and not only him, we've seen the reactions in the media, but Minister of Finances, the leading ministry, is committed to address those issues.
In fact,